something I want to talk about today, because tomorrow, unfortunately, when I did talk about it spontaneously, I didn't notice that I didn't put my hard drive on, so I didn't record it. But I wanted to talk a little bit about Illuminati because it's really relevant to, the whole topic of the deep state, the establishment, and so on. And it's, as far as I can tell, an extremely important topic, because if we're going to get to the bottom of, the conspiracies and who's behind all this and what's behind all this and how can we revolutionize the world through truth, if that is what we seek. And I say that is what you should seek, because if you think that without doing so we can cure ourselves of the mess that we're in, then I think you're gravely mistaken. So I don't see, like some people say, with Trump being elected, that change is going to take place and so on. It's just completely naive, It's like, first of all, Trump doesn't even have the power to clean up the deep state to the extent that it needs to happen, but also that the problem is fundamentally that our systems are so fundamentally, and I would even say axiomatically, rotten in the way that they function currently, that there's not just virtually but literally no chance for a better world if our institutions stay the way they are in their current form. Now you might say duh, but the point that I'm trying to make is that things won't just be sorted by a few officials or elected people being replaced or a few laws being passed here or there. The issue is fundamentally that the whole game, which is played on the international state, and the whole political systems, especially as far as I can tell, from my sphere of awareness in the US, is so rotten that they need deep reforms. So how does that play into the topic which I'm going to address? Well, as many of you may know, and as I've talked about several times before, satanic ritual abuses are real. We know that because of the dozens of credible documentaries, etc., hundreds of credible victims. How do you say again? What's the word again? If you're a... 1 second, please. Forgot the word. Witness, yeah, right. So hundreds of credible witness testimonies that we have. Very credible people speaking out on this subject. People like Tim Belland, who might have been accused of sexual misconduct recently, like anyone who the deep state wants to get rid of, allegedly having video material to prove it. from how I understand it or understood it. Not only that, but from my own experiences, having read Eyes Wide Open by Fiona Barnett, having made the exact same, not the exact same, but having read Eyes Wide Open by Fiona Barnett and having made experiences with the CIA which exactly match the reports and descriptions by Fiona Barnett of their, for example, disinformation or discrediting tactics, disinformation agents, etc., having encountered and interacted with a disinformation agent myself, who called me back then when I was working at my workplace. A few days after I accidentally stumbled upon him on YouTube and didn't contact him myself, he contacted me, who was discrediting the issues of satanic ritual abuses. The fact that all the paintings by one of the alternative personalities of Kim Noble, who suffers from dissociative identity disorder and who obviously was a victim of satanic ritual abuses, those paintings matching exactly the descriptions of such rituals by Fiona Barnett, and also including paintings of, for example, the American or the British flag with Y ? Written within. I think personally I can confidently conclude that satanic ritual abuses are real. I think it's obvious, and if those are real, then inevitably Luciferianism also has to be real, because those topics are inevitably tied together, right? And Fiona Barnett has in her PDF, in her report, Eyes Wide Open, talked a lot about Luciferianism, but also about Freemasons and especially Illuminati. So they're one way or another, if I remember correctly, are they linked with each other, but those three clans in particular are, according to Fiona Barnett, the string pullers of the world, let's just call it. The main clans behind the deep state, behind the CIA especially, and so on. Now, I cannot, from all I can tell, I cannot make enough links to Illuminati to be able to undoubtedly say that Illuminati exist. What I can say is that Luciferians exist. And insofar, it would at least be conceivable by the reports by Fiona Barnett that Illuminati also exist. Now, with regards to my experience, which I have made with Illuminati, so obviously there are rumors around, let's say, that the CIA is an Illuminati organization, to put it bluntly. And I cannot verify that, but I do have a few indices which could speak for that. And that is that when I was recruited by the CIA, the scope of the operation was very big, and I would assume more or less unique for those type of operations, where they recruit people for their brain cloud interfaces system. And the reason why I said that is that not only was, Jordan Peterson involved, but the night I read that the night that they have made me read that initiation text, there was, for example, an astronomically big comet in the sky, which we were in France, in southern France back then, a comet or an asteroid, and it was so big that it brightened the whole night sky at around this. It was astronomically big. It's like it's difficult to imagine even, and obviously, like for some time I thought that that was just coincidence and holy fuck, what kind of life am I living? But knowing the CIA, I wouldn't be surprised that not even that was coincidence, and like the scope to which they went in order to control my surroundings, especially in the beginning parts of the operation, where they have deployed dozens of agents for their street theater outside of my window. Anyhow, the scope of the operation was pretty big. So and they have, and one indice that Illuminati are related to that is that the colors which they use for their coded signs were blue and yellow, or blue and golden, let's say. So how does that match with this? So in one of the early nights, there was an incident where they shone a spotlight from a tower several kilometers away from here, a beam right into my apartment, and that light was blue. And weeks after, or the same night, it appears that I was manipulated into noticing 3 distinct golden lights about a few hundred meters away from here, which they have in the following weeks and months used to transmit coded messages to me. And blue and gold are, judging by eyes wide open, the primary colors of the Illuminati. So that points towards that. And aside from that, the following is very weak evidence, even in comparison, and that's that, when during the time where during those initial recruiting days or weeks, there was a video on my YouTube feed which I watched, which made some links between the Illuminati and the CIA. And that didn't seem like coincidence to me, and there is something to be said for it not having been one, considering that the CIA has access to and control over all the social media algorithms and feeds. So if you think that if you are subjected to the same system as I am, and you think that all of your videos are random or just according to the algorithm of that social media feed, you are likely mistaken. To what extent I can't say. If I'm not mistaken, sometimes they don't touch it at all, and sometimes everything about it is practically, or can be chosen by them, let's say. And so, and because they tried so extremely hard to appeal to me in the initial stages of the operation and the recruitment, I would suppose that there's a decent chance that they did that because that's what they would do, right? They share secrets with you so that you enter a deep trusting relationship with each other. One where you would assume that you won't betray each other. So yes, that's all I can say with regards to this topic, I think, and I hope that it was somewhat educational for you. Thank you very much.